This episode of Meet Your Neighbor is brought to you by Golden Food Pantry, providing for all of God's people with food, necessities, and a community of caring, loving folks.
Nobody takes this journey by themselves. Nobody. If you are going to succeed, somebody somewhere along the line is going to help you. And I was no exception to that. I had people that for some reason, one reason or another, saw something in me that they would take a chance on me. And it all started at Shaw Air Force Base, South Carolina, when I was in the Air Force and I was learning photography. And I really wanted to work for the local newspaper in Corning, New York. I had no background other than the Air Force. And the gentleman by the name of Dick Peer, who was the editor of the newspaper, and George Bevan, who was the managing editor, they took a chance on a kid who really didn't have any college. They taught me how to write, and I grew as a photographer. I applied for and got a job as a writer with United Press International, starting in Buffalo. My want was to be a photographer with UPI. Clayton Ford Richards, who worked for UPI already, his advice to me was take the job as a writer and worry about transferring over into the picture department later. And so that's what I did. But you notice there were people that helped me grow, and then there was another person who helped me get with UPI. And so the journey begins that way, with other people helping me. And then we ran those two pictures, the before and the after. And the neat thing about that was, and the exciting thing for a young person was, those two pictures were one over the other on the front page of the New York Times the next day. But the following day, the AP bureau manager, and he showed me the front page of the New York Times, and there was a note on it from his editor in New York saying, why couldn't we have done something like this? And of course, my ego, my head just swelled up like a pumpkin. You know, I was just on my way. It was there that I met the most imposing human being of my life, Will Chamberlain. The thing about photography that is, it's almost like being a baker. It's almost like being a builder of buildings. There are ingredients in pictures. And you don't, every day, you don't go and shoot Super Bowls. I've been to 14 Super Bowls. I've been to 8 Masters golf tournaments. I've been to the Olympics. In fact, the picture behind me of Bonnie Blair setting a world record, winning a gold medal, was taken at the Winter Olympics in Calgary. And I've been to all these places, and what I would say to young people, you don't go to these things every day. And just like a builder doesn't build the Taj Mahal, he doesn't build the Empire State Building every day, he sometimes builds chicken coops. But whatever it is you're doing, build the best chicken coop you can build. If it's the Taj Mahal, have at it. You'll make a lot of money. You won't make as much money at chicken coops, but you'll have a great deal of pride in what you did. And if you build enough good chicken coops, people will knock on your door and say, I need a chicken coop. Whatever it is. If you're baking cake, some days you're going to make a wedding cake, other days you're going to make chocolate chip cookies. Just make sure they're the best chocolate chip cookies and the best wedding cake you ever made. People will knock down doors to get to you and buy your product.